Hello, welcome to the L Zone Podcast with me, Latricia Marie, coming to you today about a topic. What do you do after divorce? What are your next steps? So, I want to touch on this. Maybe many don't know my story, but I have been married before and divorced. I'm on my second marriage, and I just was reflecting one day about how did I cope with separating from my first husband and divorcing. So just a little quick story or whatever. Early 20s, had been like 23 ish, whatever. It was 2005. I'm 40 now, so but he was cheating, and I already knew what my limit was, and I just was like, no, I'm finna leave. I didn't have a big argument. I didn't confront him about the cheating or anything like that. I saw what I needed to see and called my friends up while he was at work and helped me move out within 4 hours, and I was done. No reconciling. I understand that's not for everybody. I'm not saying that cheating is to say all be all, because I know some people who have, pushed past and forgiven their wife or their husband for doing certain things. I just knew my thing with cheating and what I grew up around, and I was just like, okay, I'm done. But then what set in afterwards, shockingly, was how everybody treated me, and what after I decided to leave him and get divorced, and just the things that people were saying. And I just had to reflect on, okay, how did I maneuver during that time period in my life after everybody, had they, what is that, 2 cent after, leaving him. And I had my first baby, and I only had one kid at the time. So I have three now, but I had one kid at the time. And I remember people in my family, mom, and them was like, okay, why you leave him over that? You might as well stay. Like, what you finna do? You have a kid. And I was just like, okay, so everybody's just telling me to suck it up, and this is what it is, and how I feel about how somebody made me feel, or so y'all telling me I can't make it out here on my own. And it was kind of, it was hard because no one around me at the time was going through any of that, or they just kind of condoned that type of behavior and things like that, of, okay, make your marriage work at all costs type mentality. And it's kind of like, okay, but that don't work for everybody. How do you get around that? And I know for me, after reflecting and things like that, it took a while for me to kind of narrow down, to give some tips. I may do another one, give some more tips on how I kind of maneuvered through that. And first thing was being okay with walking away, being okay with how it's going to look to other people, family, friends, so-called friends, colleagues who know that you married and now you finna get divorced. It's okay to, walk away and start over, because you really are kind of starting over. You're getting your bearings again. You're kind of trying to move out of the title of wife, and it kind of is discouraging because everybody sees it a certain way, and you're not a failure. That's my main thing. You didn't fail. You just went for something. It was a life lesson, and you either learn from it and grow from it and apply what you need to apply for your next marriage or your next connection. But you didn't fail, and just knowing that it's okay and you're doing what's right for you. If what's right for you is to stay. But for those who do decide to walk away, it's okay. You didn't fail. Fuck everybody around you who tells you, put negative thoughts in your ear, or maybe ain't nothing out here. You should go back to this person. And it's like, okay, either way, it's a fucked up situation. What is the worst that can happen? You already seen and you know how this feels. Staying, it's okay to walk away, and you did not fail. The second thing was finding my identity in every scenario, whether it be a friendship or a job or things like that, being a mom. I went through a phase where I lost my identity, and being married because of how everybody kind of around me were, examples of, okay, you go to school, you get a good education, you find a guy, or he finds you, whatever, you get married, you have babies. That stereotype of what the social norm is, it didn't fit me. So I had to figure out who I was. I'm a single mom now. Who am I? What am I good at? What do I like to do? And even at that early stage of the divorce, it took me years to finally figure out, oh, this is me without titles, and the expectation, getting people voices out my ear, tell me what I should be doing. What's the definition of success? What's success to me? And that was my biggest thing, finding my identity again, just exploring, taking care of my kid, things like that at the time. But then my third thing was, don't jump into another relationship or a connection. I did go through a period right afterwards because I was young. I didn't get to experience certain things. I wish I didn't. Just, okay, let me date somebody. It wasn't unserious, but it was a waste of time. But I had to go through it. Had I, just kind of took a minute, a break in between to just kind of be like by myself, maybe it would have been an easier transition. But we all go through things. But I know, looking back now, don't jump into no relationship or nothing. Don't read too much into anything right after a divorce. You're still healing. You're still, questioning your choice for real. You're still questioning, do a lot of people know when to finally tell people? Are y'all actually divorced yet? It's a process. The paperwork, the court process, but that public stuff, it's a lot. And just jumping into something right after, I get if you just need to go, get your nut off or something, if that's really what you need, okay. But afterwards you feel fucked up it was like, no, that's not a good idea. Then don't do it again. You experienced it, you know where you are, kind of recenter yourself and just kind of be to you and figure out you and what your next steps are going to be. Because I don't care what anybody say, divorce is hard. It's easier said than done. I know, because I already knew what my limit was. Yeah, the paperwork was easy for me to walk away and stuff, but it was the aftermath that I wasn't prepared for. If I had somebody kind of guide me through it, maybe it'd been easier, maybe not, but I had to go through it. But those are the three things. Again, you did not fail. It's okay to walk away. Finding your identity again, or in healing, but also not jumping into something that you're not ready for, especially if there hasn't been a good gap in time. I think that's the right way to say that, before, in between people. You don't want to add up bodies. And I was told women don't count certain bodies. We have a different calculating system than guys do when they divorce, but that's another topic. But those are the three takeaways that I sat back and had to think about while I was going through that. And hopefully those 3 points help you kind of narrow down your path to help you maneuver through if you are going through divorce or contemplating divorce, things like that. But give me your feedback. Let me know what you think about this particular topic. Let me know what you think about the 3 points, and hope you all have a good night. Thank you for listening.